Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I haven't made a video in a long time. Been busy with a lot of shit, and also I played a lot of games. Yep, I even played that new Mortal Kombat 11. What a clusterfuck that turned out to be, and it's not because of microtransaction. It's the exact opposite, where they made it into a massive grind fest. Of course, when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I still run into so many people who don't know the original story of Mortal Kombat or the truth behind what happened with Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and not forgetting other clusterfucks. And I still lay the blame down on Ed Boon, somewhat midway, and but the biggest ones at fault, those the high rollers known as their fans. Yeah, you people. See, the thing was that when you play Deadly Alliance and Destruction and then Armageddon, you realize Armageddon is a little out of place, especially within the storylines. If you knew the actual history of Mortal Kombat, see, here's the thing. When Destruction happened, and a lot of people were complaining about Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage having a daughter together, which didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen in the normal timeline. But they say, but some people saying, oh, but she got together with Jax. Well, her and Jax never got together because by Destruction, when Destruction came out, Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade were dead, and then literally replaced with two characters who literally made it. I think Kira and Cobra, and they literally made it on the top five most hated Mortal Kombat characters ever created, along with one other who is also in Destruction. the The thing about Mortal Kombat Destruction is that Mortal Kombat Destruction literally had no good protagonists whatsoever. Everybody was evil, and everybody wanted to kill each other. Even Raiden went all crazy. The When you saw Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade in Armageddon, rumor has it that Ed Boon was kicked out halfway through Armageddon's development, and there was development problems with Armageddon, mainly because Destruction was the most well liked game out there, as well as the most well hated game out there of the Mortal Kombat series. It literally makes both lists. All the familiar characters were gone. Fans loved it, but also hated it. And characters were all replaced. And then literally, Kira was a remodeled Sonya Blade, and Cobra was a remodeled Johnny Cage. But they were both Black Dragon members. And Earthrealm was taken over and destroyed. And Armageddon was supposed to be the last. And according to most rumors and also some actual facts, Ed Boon had planned on this series where Earthrealm gets destroyed. The human race is nothing more than just enslaved and completely turned inside out, or had all gruesome, nothing but gruesome fates for them. Unless you were part of the Black Dragons who basically just went to Outworld and decided to just mass murder everybody. And Mortal Kombat was supposed to end with everything bad and possibly horrible that did happen, could happen. And I guess the guys at Midway didn't like that storyline and uh, kicked Ed Boon out, forced all the familiar characters back onto the roster, everybody who was supposed to be dead, because most of all the characters that were brought back were all dead. Even Nightwolf was supposed to die in Destruction. Kung Lao was also dead. Pretty much every good guy. And it, that's why there was hardly anybody familiar when you looked at the roster of Destruction. I mean, yeah, you had Sub Zero and Scorpion, which were the only thing that was recognizable. But if you look at the rosters of literally all the good characters, of all the main characters, they didn't make it to the end only until Armageddon. Yeah, Liu Kang was brought back as a zombie. Now, they said that he later freed himself in Armageddon, but no, he didn't. He was pretty much a Walking Dead zombie, period. Armageddon was literally supposed to be the last and final Mortal Kombat. But as you know, a movie company known as New Line Cinema made the first two movies, went under and sold out to Warner Brothers. And I guess Ed Boon, trying to save the series that he tried to destroy, then decided to make a deal with Warner Brothers to create Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, along with two other Mortal Kombat games that nobody cared about. Because he literally wrote the entire Mortal Kombat series into a dead end and didn't care. But Boon was, I guess, after he did Mortal Kombat vs. DC Online's, he decided maybe it was time for a reboot. But by that time, Midway went under, and then he got his friends, he got his little buddies at Warner Brothers to buy out Midway and go back into the video game because Warner Brothers used to own Atari, and they clusterfucked that. And I think it was the Warner Brothers writers who said, "Yeah, we need to reboot this whole series and go back from scratch." And thus, Mortal Kombat 9 was born, all the way up to now 11. But if people knew how the original storyline was supposed to end, because most people didn't want to pay attention to behind the scenes and stuff that happened with between Annihilation and Destruction. Annihilation was supposed to be a lot more darker and much like Darksiders, humanity is just gone and wiped out, and the Earth is just not there anymore. There were some other rumors that how it was supposed to really go, and every single one of them ended with just horrible endings for every good person, and that it was just supposed to be nothing but evil people and doing evil things to each other. But somewhere after Boone made, like, I think Mortal Kombat Collection, Mortal Kombat Unchained and Ultimate Mortal Kombat, he decided to rebuild and probably try to figure out how to save the franchise that he was trying to destroy. But then again, I think Mortal Kombat Unchained was literally just a Mortal Kombat destruction made for the PSP. But best guess is I think it was after Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe that he decided Mortal Kombat needed a reboot and not end everything on a horrible note and have every single character killed at the end, which I think he was planning at the end of Mortal Kombat Annihilation anyways, because the entire main cast, except for maybe two or three, were all dead. And Destruction pretty much got rid of pretty much most of all of them. I think even Sub Zero and Scorpion were not even supposed to be in Annihilation. I know Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, and even Nightwolf were not supposed to be in Annihilation. I don't think even Nightwolf was even supposed to be in Destruction. But if you look today, pretty much most of all the new characters in Deadly Alliance and Destruction are in the most hated Mortal Kombat characters list. I'm not joking. That's actually true. Look it up. I'm still enjoying the clusterfuck. And speaking of other games, I'm still enjoying that clusterfuck known as Fallout 76. That's hilarity in itself. I knew it was going to fall apart. And now they got that crappy Elder Scroll, which, you know, people were complaining that chests were taking like 2 to 3 hours to open, or they'd have to buy a key and unlock them with cost money. So they came up with an update that now you have, and now you can. And they didn't change anything about the treasure safes. Now you can get some special armor that will literally take 2 years. Oh god damn! Oh, just watching the fans go berserk. And no, Bethesda, they are to blame for this clusterfuck. It's just hilarious how everybody's all reacting like this is the first time Bethesda tried to fuck them over. I never liked Bethesda, and I knew Bethesda would fall to such slow legs. But it's so funny watching everybody just all react like, how could Bethesda betray us like this? Bitch, they were gonna do this a long, long time ago. You just never caught up. I mean, it was obvious since they used a game engine that was so fucking buggy that it had massive problems. And they would show literally disrespect to you guys in every game show. And the only reason why they kept going back to you, why they even showed you half that shit, was that because you kept giving them money. And you still are. And then you got EA. What's there to say? I mean, Apex is falling down because they won't do anything with that game. And because free to play games like Apex isn't a real money maker to EA. So, they're showing it the same respect that they gave to Anthem. That unfinished piece of crap, which is dead and Bethesda is going to shut down. Why? Because EA only cares about money. When a game makes a lot of money, they go out and buy it. And then, when they tinker around with it to try to make more money out of it, like they did all their other games, and find out that they're tinkering clusterfucked it, what do? They sweep it to the side, make sure that nobody will ever buy because maybe there's a chance that they could bring that franchise back to life. And when it dies, well, then they just bury the whole thing, and then they stop everybody else from getting to that franchise ever again, fucking the franchise over forever and everybody else because they want to be top dog no matter what, and they're willing to fuck the fans over just so that you can get your money. And it's this business strategy that's putting EA out of business. And according to EA, is once a franchise is fucked up, nobody else should touch that franchise ever again. Only they should be able to touch it. And fuck everyone else. If you wanted to make a better game, that's an insult to them because they had. See, EA has a high and mighty attitude, and when somebody comes up with a better product with that same name on their own list, that is a fucking insult to them because they make more money than you, and people that make less money shouldn't have better ideas because they're rich. End of their sentence right there. That's the way they view it all. Only they should have better ideas. And when their ideas fail, and some rich guy and some poor somebody with lesser money makes a better idea out of theirs, that's insulting to them. And now they're failing. It's this kind of bullshit rhetoric that is destroying EA, and I could give a rat's ass. And I don't give a flying fuck about any of those owners and bosses over at EA. They can all kiss my sorry fucking little ass. I mean, I hope they all wind up at TV boxes and die of starvation as far as I care. Hell, I'll piss on their dead bodies if I have a chance. So, fuck you, EA. It's sad that BioWare is going to go down, which they are. And unfortunately, nobody will rip that band-aid off. BioWare is dead. Anthem ain't getting any more fucking updates. And it'll probably may get a one or two couple of updates. But after that, it's gone. Anthem will be considered a complete and utter failure because when EA bought they're just gonna say, "Oh, that was the fault of the customers. They all love the failing company, anyways." No, you bought a company and then ripped everything out of there that you didn't want, and you wanted to be superior by having your ideas be the one up front over everyone else's, and you made everybody leave that was important. But no, it's the customer's fault. Why? Because rich people don't make mistakes. We can't. We're too rich to make mistakes. I mean, Apex is dying. No, literally. Everybody's going back to Fortnite or whatever because Apex is dead. Because they won't update it or put anything new in there anymore. Why? Because it's not making enough money in cash. And also because, you know, Apex was, or Respawn was able to make this game with no interference from EA, and EA doesn't like that. See, the thing is, I mostly say this is EA's fault. Why? Because EA, and yeah, BioWare put in all that microtransaction and mismanagement shit, but it was EA who forced that Frostbite engine that nobody liked onto BioWare. They're the ones who did it. No one else had that problem. I will be laughing when EA goes under and all their franchises are bought by different people who will probably do a better job. And they will grin their teeth saying, "But we're rich. We can't make mistakes. Our company can't go under. We're rich. There's no way. It doesn't make any sense." Yeah, well, you done fucked up. Congratulations, EA. Kiss my ass.